keep saying it, but take that leap of faith because for real, it's going to open a lot of doors and lead you to a lot of places you would have never thought before.
Hey everyone, it's Carlos back with you. I know it's been a while since we've dropped the video, but I hope today's video is invaluable to all of you guys. In today's video, we took the great opportunity to interview Catalina Romero, who's an MIT student currently studying mechanical engineering. As she goes into her third year, she tells us about what she likes about mechanical engineering, but most importantly, she tells us about her origins in STEM. She's also a proud Latina and also first generation college student. So I hope this is invaluable to all you high schoolers or perhaps students that you come from like a minority background. Below in the description you can find timestamps to different key parts of the interview, and make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. Thank you so much, and let's get started.
My name's Catalina. I go to MIT. I'm currently a junior studying mechanical engineering with like a focus in product and industrial design. And also minoring in environment and sustainability. And yeah, so a little bit about me, like on campus, I'm like part of the cycling team, and I do a lot of running as well. So most of the people, like most of my friends know that I'm out there just like running early in the mornings. Like I do a lot of ultra running as well. And then yeah, so I'm also like part of the Schuler Scholar Program, which is a scholarship program that I've been a part of like all throughout of high school. So it's like it starts eighth grade and then you're just part of it like even through college. So they like give me scholarships for college, but it's a really cool program just because they just like expose you to different things. So like I got to see like Hamilton and The Lion King and things like that. So that's also like an important community that I'm a part of because a lot of my good friends like from high school came from that program. And yeah, so I just do quite a bit of quite a few things here and there. So I think my journey in like becoming interested in STEM started when I was really young. So when I was like about 6 years old, my parents took me to like Florida to go to like Disney World and like SeaWorld. So we went to like all the parks, right? And then we had one extra day left, and I was kind of like sick of the parks because we were there for a while. And then my parents just looked up the Kennedy Space Center. So then from there they're like, okay, why not like go over there? So I went there, and then they had like these huge like screens full of just like rockets launching and stuff, and I was just like, whoa, that's really cool. So of course like the little kid inside of me was like, I want to be an astronaut. And yeah, so then from there, like for years, like I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna be an astronaut. That's like what I want to do. And then I remember like in early middle school, we had to do like a career project. So of course, I'm just like, bro, this is like easy. Like I just was like looking up what you have to do to be an astronaut. And then what I kept seeing pop up was um like aerospace engineer, mechanical engineer. So then I'm like, oh yo, like what do these guys do? So then I like saw these people like build the rovers, build like all the machinery needed to like get people up to space. So I'm like, okay, actually like that seems really cool because then I can just make things. And I think like just stemming from like that moment when I was like really young, just like drew me into like STEM just because like I would read a lot, and then like it brought me into like that sort of engineering world and got me interested in it. Um, like propelled me further into it was when I did like summer programs in between my high school years. So I did a summer program in between I want to say my second and third year of high school, and that was about a month long, and it was at Smith College. It was called um summer science and engineering program. And it was, yeah, 4 weeks long. And what you would do is like you'd go to the college, and this was in Western Massachusetts. So you'd go to the college and then you do two-week programs. So I did one of them in Arduino, and yeah, introduction to like Arduino and like electronics. And then my second one was like this Lego robotics stuff. And then the following summer, so in between my third and senior year of high school, I did mites, which is Minority Introduction to Engineering and Science at MIT. And that was 6 weeks long. And it was essentially like a semester at MIT condensed into those 6 weeks. So I would take life science, calculus course, physics, humanities, and then an elective. My elective was electronics. So I think doing those programs as well, uh, like during high school, like I think that's what like sealed the deal and like made me say like yeah, like I definitely want to pursue a career in STEM. Like this is something that I want to do for the rest of my life, because I think like the people that I met through it like were also just as passionate about it. And then like just the stuff that I was doing was fun. Like if I could just do that for the rest of my life, it wouldn't feel like work, right? So yeah, I think like all those experiences in my life definitely drew me to into STEM. Yeah, definitely. I I do this a lot with like um the high school kids, like in back in my high school, like with the scholarship program that I'm in. Um because I understand it's very important for from underrepresented backgrounds or like low income, like first gen, like all of that applies to me. Like my entire family is like from Colombia. I'm like the first person in my like family to go to college. So it was like I had to figure things out on my own. I couldn't like ask my parents for help. I couldn't be like, "Hey, like could you help me with like this problem?" Or like, "Hey, could you help me figure out how the college application process works?" Or like financial aid, like all of that, like I had to do that. Um and I think like being that finding somebody who, like has gone through that definitely helped, because with my program that I was in, like Schuler, if like it wasn't for their help and like having someone to talk to with like similar experiences as me, um I don't think like I probably would have like pursued, right, like a career in STEM. And I think like what I always tell students is like really just like put your foot forward and just like take that leap of faith and like apply to something that maybe you don't think you would have gotten into. Like for that mites program, I honestly like I'm still shocked sometimes, because I like really thought when I applied I was like, "Oh, like I'm not going to get in." Like I'm surprised that sometimes I even like did, because I thought like it was a long shot, like it wouldn't have been possible. Um but like here we are, and it like completely changed my life. Um, so yeah, I like always say just like whatever opportunity that you have, just like snag it and like go for it, because you'll be surprised like what can happen if you just like take that leap of faith. Um, and then like another thing, yeah, that I would say as well is just like talk to, perhaps like if you can find like someone older than you, like a mentor or something, like literally just keep asking questions, because that's what I always tell like the high school students who like I mentor and stuff, like literally just like talk to me anytime, like set something up and like ask me any kind of question, because it's better to just like reach out than to just try to figure things out on your own and like, you know, but yeah. Academic difficulties, I'd say like definitely where I was tested the most was like that summer program at MIT. Like that 6 week program, because I never like experienced something that rigorous in academics. Because I come from like a public high school, like it's not like the best education out there. And I think like coming to a place at MIT where I was like that intellectually challenged to like, think outside the box and like um utilize like tools and like resources that I've never had access to before in my life was like sometimes like could be very overwhelming. It's just kind of like an abrupt transition. And I think it was like a bit difficult for me to like navigate through that because I knew like other people who had experience and like let's say like coding and stuff, and like before that like I really like I was like I don't even know what Python is like. And yeah, I think just, you know, having to navigate that and just like accepting like, hey, like I don't know this, but it's okay. That's the whole reason why I'm here, because I'm trying to do my best to learn it. And yeah, it's like coming to terms with that and like, you know, being okay with like not knowing things. It's like that's the whole reason you go to places like that. So I like absolutely have loved um like the classes that I've been able to take at MIT. I'm such a hands-on person, I think. When it comes to like lecture classes, I'm kind of bored out of my mind if it's just like a repetitive routine, but with like the mechanical engineering courses that have been offered at MIT, like I fallen like absolutely like in love with it. Before I was like, okay, I just want to be an aerospace engineer. Um, but I'm glad that I ended up sticking with mechanical engineering because it's broadened my horizons in the sense that I think like now I have a better idea of like what I would like to do in the future. Like I instead of like narrowing myself into making like one sort of thing, I've decided like no, like there's certain products that I would like to work with. And I think the main reason why I decided that and like what opened my eyes to that was I took two double OB, which is toy product design at MIT, and that class was like so awesome. It was one of my most memorable classes just because um sometimes it didn't even feel like a class just because it was fun. And you would go through the entire design process. So like first you'd like brainstorm and then come up with like multiple ideas. We went to the children's museum to have kids like test the toys that we'd bring over there, like little like mock-ups of them. And then we'd had like design critiques, and then it's like your next iteration of prototypes, and then we'd have the kids test them again. And it's like a combination of just uh like the mechanical side of things, right, of like actually building your toy, as well as just the design process, like how are we going to make this look like, um and then as well as like the just human centered piece of it, which I think like you're designing this like product for a certain audience. And I think like I never really thought of mechanical engineering just like combining all these different aspects, because you just think of like functionality and utility when it's like okay, when I'm making something. But taking these courses, it's like it's also about the design of it, about the experience that who you're making this for, like what experience they have. And yeah, it's like opened my eyes to like this whole like world where I want to be a part of that. Um and like even right now I'm taking this human centered design course. We're working with a client and just coming up with like solutions to like the problem they want us to like address. And yeah, it's just like a very cool thing to combine like that engineering side with like your design side. It's both like the mechanical and like creative aspects meshing together to make something so awesome. And I think another cool course that I've taken is blacksmithing. So when I say like I'm a hands-on person, like I mean it. Like my first semester, I was like, oh my gosh, like that's what I want to take this blacksmithing course just because. And it was like really fun because you're just like there for 3 hours on Monday. You have like a hammer, you have your anvil there, and then you're just like smashing metal on it and just making cool things. Like I made this pretty cool hook. Um and then yeah, and like these chains and stuff that I welded together. So I think like a combination of just like doing all of that stuff, um, I think reassured me that yeah, this is definitely like something that I want to do, definitely want to do hands-on stuff and also tying in like my creative side into like this engineering like technical aspect. So the particular scholarship program that I'm in is for like Chicagoland area schools. So it's like for certain public schools in the area actually as well. Like they are offering this program now in like some Milwaukee public high schools as well. So for this specific program for Schuler, what they do is like in if you have like good grades throughout middle school, they'll send you an invitation letter to apply to that program. So then you apply, you go through um an interview process as well, and then from the interviews they like decide who gets to be a part of the program, and then this lasts from freshman to senior year of high school. So um yeah, essentially like the commitment for that is just like well you have to like attend like weekly sessions to things where they give you actually really helpful advice in terms of like okay uh like a college application like session or like what kind of schools you're looking for or like financial aid advice. um and then yeah, and then that's like what I did for that program. But I also applied to different scholarships as well. So I applied to another one with called the Hispanic Scholarship Fund, and with that process as well, you just like apply and then send in like your information, and you can ask for recommendations, I believe is what you have to do. But yeah, with that one, it was like I think just a matter of like looking for things. That's what I would do. I would just like Google scholarships that I think would apply to me. So like being Latina, like I would look for scholarships that were for like uh Latinos and stuff. And as well as like for women. So I would just like, search for scholarships in that way. If you know people who like are in college too, like I asked like a couple of my friends as well, and that's how I found out about some of them because I didn't really know where to start, right? Like again, I'm first gen, so I wasn't sure how any of this worked really. Um but yeah, I think like the applications are just very straightforward. It's just I think the hard part is just finding them. Um, but yeah, I would just recommend talking to people who might like have like experience like that scholarship process, or talking to counselors in high school as well, because they also helped me out with that, just like, telling me like, okay, yeah, you could apply to this one. And a big thing too that I think people don't realize is that there's probably like local scholarships in your own area, and because many people don't know about it, you're more likely to get them. So I applied to a few of those as well, and it's like it might not be much. It might be like 250 or like 500, but once you start applying to a couple of those, they add up. So I would like also just go on Google and like try to search for some in your area because there probably are. Advice that I'd want to give would just be like literally take that leap of faith and just like go for it and don't let anybody tell you different. because in my mind, what I like to do is like if I feel like scared to do something or I feel like I can't do it, I use that as like an indication of like, you know what, okay, now I have to do it. And I like kind of challenge myself to just like go for it because usually when I take risks like that is where I end up getting the most rewards. And like the worst thing that can happen is like, okay, maybe you just like don't get that scholarship. Okay, maybe like um you don't like get into this college or something. But I really do think like just working hard and like doing just like being you can really like get you far into just like doing what you want in your life. And yeah, I think like I've surprised myself with like how far I've come, and like there's a lot of untapped potential in especially like within underrepresented groups. And I think like if we just say like, you know what, like we're just gonna, you know, go for it, then I definitely see just a lot of people succeeding in that way. And I've definitely seen it in my own high school. Because I think now just like having told people like that they should just like, you know, apply to these programs, like just go for it. And like uh yeah, it's been really awesome to see because now like in my high school a couple people got accepted into MIT like after me, and I think I was only like the second person, and it's like over 100-year history to like get into MIT. And it's because people are like applying to summer programs like mites and most tech, which is another one that MIT offers. And yeah, just like, but take that, I keep saying it, but take that leap of faith because for real, it's gonna lead you to a lot of, it's going to open a lot of doors and lead you to a lot of places you would have never thought before.
Thanks for sticking all the way to the end of this video. Make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. Most importantly, please share with other students that might benefit. In the following weeks, we'll be providing some more fire videos so that you can learn more about STEM. Thank you.